The 1970s had some absolutely fantastic live-action superhero TV shows, along with some that maybe weren't so much. But if you grew up watching superheroes in the 1970s, chances are you fell in love with some, if not many, of the superheroes on this list. There's an invisible medical scientist that was a secret agent, a superhuman with bionic implants that gave him super strength, a patriotic Amazon that had a lasso of truth, and even an iconic doctor that crossed time and dimension to save the universe. There were some pretty interesting live-action superhero shows, including some that we still love, and today we're going to rank all the live-action superhero shows from worst to best. Before we start, keep in mind that this was the 70s, and superheroes came in all shapes and sizes. They didn't all wear underwear on the outside of their clothes or have masks that hid their identity, and some of them were downright odd. Alright, with that out of the way, sit back while we rank the top 25 live-action superhero shows from the 70s. And to start off the list, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention some hugely popular international shows as well. So our number 25, 4, and 3 are my top 3 international honorable mentions. Number 25 is Spider-Man, or Spider-Man. This Japanese series was loosely based on Marvel Comics' Spider-Man character, but this incarnation of Spider-Man piloted a giant robot known as Leopardon, which he would summon to destroy giant versions of the show's monsters. Number 24 is El Chapulín Colorado. This show literally means the red grasshopper, and it's a Mexican spoof comedy of a bumbling superhero that somehow his adventures always seem to end well, despite his clumsy ways. And number 23 is the Ultraman series. The Ultraman series is one of the most prominent superhero shows from Japan in the 1970s, in which a giant robot alien was being summoned to embody the show's hero to destroy giant monsters and robots before they destroy the city. A bit unconventional for the style of superhero America was used to in the 70s, but still to this day, Ultraman is one of the most celebrated live-action superhero shows to come from overseas. Number 22 is Future Cop. It's about a rookie robot cop assigned to work the streets with a pair of veteran patrol officers, Cleaver and Bundy. Cleaver knows that Haven is a robot, but Bundy doesn't, which causes a few complications. The series originally aired on ABC in 1977 and had a pilot movie, Cops and Robin, when it moved to NBC in 1978. In all, there were a total of 8 episodes made for the show. Alright, the show had John Amos from Good Times, so could it really be that bad? Number 21 is Bigfoot and Wild Boy. It's a children's series about Wild Boy, an orphan who was raised in the wilderness by the legendary Sasquatch. In this show, Wild Boy and Bigfoot roam the countryside stomping out pollution, capturing diabolical villains, and rescuing people in distress. Number 20 is The Tomorrow People. It's about British teens that have special powers that they learn about when they hit their adolescent age. These abilities include talking to people using their minds, and moving objects just by thinking about them. With the help of their talking computer Tim, they battle the evildoers of Earth and space and spend a lot of time searching for other kids that are about to get their powers.
Managed to escape? I didn't. They let me go.
Why, well, after going to all that
I haven't got time for explanations. What's the world situation on riots right now, Tim?
Not good would be an understatement.
Number 19 is Lucan. Lucan is about a 20-year-old boy that was raised by wolves until he was 10. Then he was taken to a research institute and taught the ways of human society. He escapes and is hunted by bounty hunters. When Lucan gets angry, his eyes glow amber, and he's able to hear and smell better than humans, almost like a wolf.
You've got 4 partners in the hospital. Come on, Alex, you're a good cop.
By the way, who's my new partner?
In our 18th spot is Holmes and Yo-Yo. This series is about a clumsy detective named Holmes and his new android partner Yo-Yo, who weighs 427 pounds and runs on batteries. In each episode, Holmes teaches Yo-Yo what it's like to be human while trying to keep his quirky partner's true identity a secret from criminals and fellow cops. Then at number 17, we have Wonderbug. If you ever wanted a Doom buggy that could fly, had an attitude, and could talk, well, you're in luck. Wonderbug is about a Doom buggy named Schleppcar, but when its bugle horn is played, the buggy becomes Wonderbug, where he spends time helping 3 teens capture crooks and prevent wrongdoing in each episode.
Who's Harry Wells?
Me. I'm breaking in to jail.
Number 16, we have The Invisible Man. It's about a scientist that makes a formula to become invisible. But when the government tries to steal his invention, he destroys it. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to become visible again, so he wore a very realistic face mask and hands to become a secret agent fighting crime and battling saboteurs, while simultaneously trying to rediscover his formula to turn himself visible again. In the 15th spot is Gemini Man. This series starred secret agent Sam Casey, who, while diving to retrieve a fallen Soviet spy satellite, was exposed to radiation in an underwater explosion which rendered him invisible. The agency he worked for found a way for him to control his powers, which was controlled using a digital watch, but he could only use it for 15 minutes a day. Worked out great for a 45-minute show. Number 14 is The Kids from Caper. The Kids from Caper were a team of 4 teenage boys that used a local police precinct as their crime-fighting headquarters. Together, they helped the police solve unusual cases while they learned the ropes of law enforcement and forensics. The kids named PT, Bugs, Doomsday, and Doc each had a superpower which they used in fighting crime, and they even had a special chant.
Is this your lucky day? By an amazing coincidence, under these average, everyday, ordinary, humdrum clothes, we are the civilian authority for the protection of everybody, regardless. Who cares? Oh, wait. Ta-da! Ta-da!
And coming in at number 13 is The Ghostbusters. This show was a live-action children's sitcom about a team of bumbling detectives who would investigate ghostly occurrences. Spencer, Tracy, and Kong build themselves as the Ghostbusters as they track down evil monsters and ghosts.
What are you two doing?
Oh, hi, Kong. I'm teaching Tracy here how to talk.
And here's a fun fact. The Ghostbusters show came out 9 years before the unrelated 1984 movie Ghostbusters. In fact, Columbia Pictures had to pay Filmation for license to use the name for this movie. Number 12, we have Spidey Super Stories. This is a live-action reoccurring skit on the original version of the Electric Company. Stories involved the masked superhero foiling mischievous characters who were involved in criminal activities. This version of the web-slinger hero did not speak out loud, instead communicated with word bubbles. Then at number 11 we have Man from Atlantis. The series stars a man who lost his memory and is given the name of Mark Harris. He's believed to be the only surviving citizen of the lost civilization of Atlantis. He can breathe underwater and withstand extreme depth pressures, and he has superhuman strength. His hands and feet are webbed, his eyes are unusually sensitive to light, and he swims like a mermaid. Although the show only lasted 13 episodes in the US, it actually did really well in Britain, beating out even Doctor Who. So that's number 25 all the way down to 11. In part 2, we're going to do the top 10 live-action superhero TV shows from the 70s. So click on part 2 to watch that. But before you do, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'll see y'all all in the next video, and remember, if it ain't retro, it ain't worth watching.